Marina, on the moment you made this work, art must be beautiful, artists must be beautiful. In what way were you kind of reflecting on the imagery as it was brought to us in art history? All these lushful women depicted. Was that part of the...
It was absolutely not part of this kind of thinking. We are talking about communist ex-Yugoslavia, and I was more thinking about the idea what beauty and art means, and why the people buying the paintings who actually like the color yellow because they match the carpet in the living room, and why and how the whole idea of beauty is exaggerating. And is this true that art must be beautiful? Which I don't believe in it. I think always the art have to be disturbing, art to have prediction of future, art have to say new things, art to have open your mind. And so as I've been working with my body at that time, I was thinking if I take very simple action, but having really the calm and a brush from metal, something very abrasive, something very kind of hardcore, and then take my body as example that actually destroying that beauty is still you creating new context. So I'm repeatedly saying art must be beautiful and artists must be beautiful as a very ironic statement to the beauty in general. Mm-hmm. So in that time I was absolutely not thinking about anything in the sense of the beauty. Just actually that beauty in art is not essentially important. There's so many other things that we have to think of.
Thank you very much. And if I'm not mistaken, this performance was also taking place in front of a live audience, eh?
It's very interesting, particularly this documentation, because it was the first time in my life I was in Denmark that I have the possibility to have the video of my performance, because in 1975 very rarely was video available in this context. So there came the curator and happily told me, oh my God, it's going to be video taken of your work. And I was so excited. And without even giving any instructions, because it was such a new media for me, I sit and make performance in front of the public. And immediately after public left, I asked him to show me the video. And when I saw the video, it was pure catastrophe. I mean, it was terrible because the guy was just exercising all possibility of the camera, solarization, moving left and right, filming my feet when I was doing my head. It was absolutely any use of that material for me. So I told him to press magic button, delete, and he deleted entire piece. And I said to him, now I'm going to make in the front of the camera, the completely new work, immediately after the performance. So we public left, and I positioned the camera, and I looked the frame very specifically how I want to be. And I said to him that all what you have to do is press record and go out and smoke cigarette. And to me, I actually imagined the public in the viewer of the camera. And I done it in that way, this video. And then when I saw the material, this was exactly what I want. So I knew in the future that working with performance is not just enough. You have to give very precise instructions to the recording, to the film camera, to the photographer, what actually work have to be presented afterwards is done.
Yeah, it must also be strange in a way that you can re-encounter that performance all over again and again and again. And did it change your mind on how you think about this work over the years?
This work survived time. Because, so many works, especially in the early 70s, the way how they're filmed and what documentation is about, it's actually doesn't really represent the work itself at all. Because, in the time, there was lots of photographers filming performances without no instruction. So they would come in and maybe something will happen on the right. He shoot the image on the right, to the left, he go out, he have a coffee, come back. So all the material was such a kind of messy. And I think that kind of clear, in very early stage, that I have clear instructions how should be done, actually create very specific documentation about my work through my entire career. I never actually left anything uncontrolled.
And now it's part of all these museum collections. This work is in many important collections in the world, I think. How do you feel about how it is combined with other works? Because it's out of your control now.
But we see, especially coming here and seeing the show, Double Act, I really see that conversation and this new point of view that you actually conversation with the different periods of art, it's really the wonderful and can really work very well, because also for the public to see the connections. Yes, there's new media, but the ideas are sometimes very similar to the different things, already made in the past. It was very interesting, the kind of experiment in 1989. I got invitation from the Louvre, together with at that time with Godard, with Viola, who is also in the show, and some other artists, to come to the Louvre for 1 month. Always on Tuesday when the Louvre is closed, with no any kind of protection, and to choose one work of art and to get inspired from that work of art. And actually, all of us did this. It was quite an interesting experiment. I remember that for me, my section was absolutely Sumerian art that I really love. And I remember Viola, it chose the Bruno Latour, because of light and stuff. So, and I remember Godard chose the Aphrodite from the Greek sculpture. So we always working on the inspiration of that kind of work from the Louvre to make work. And then the French ran out of money and experiment never happened. But this is one of the attempts very early how to combine the past and present together.
It is often seen also as a very strong feministic work, but the way you describe it on first hand, that was not really on top of your mind, or how do you reflect on that?
I never felt as a feminist artist. I never want to be in feminist show. I feel like being in feminist show is a kind of ghetto, that you put you in one section. And I always believe that art doesn't have gender. That art doesn't matter who is making it. Transgender, black, Jewish, from any country, male, female artists. I only one category that I respect actually is good art, bad art, that's it. So to me, I don't see this as a feminist work. But of course people can project whatever mind they want, and there's so many interpretations, but I didn't do it from the feminist reason.
Thank you very much. I think this is all I wanted to address.